Hey everybody, welcome back to Lando's Lessons. It's good to be back. Um, been a bit busy going through some things, and a little late compared to where I want it to be as far as uploading a video. But I'm almost glad I waited because I had an interesting time this past week and a half, 2 weeks, and came up with something to talk about that I think was a better topic of discussion than what I was previously going to do, which I'll do later down the road. So, this one is about something that I think a lot of us struggle with and go through as far as one of the major stressors in our lives. One of the things that eat us up inside and can make us frustrated and depressed and anxiety ridden. And that is jobs, that is workplaces, that is the occupation that pays the bills, if you will. And while I covered something similar early on, I will just hit on this first. Um, just like what I mentioned weeks ago about family members, loved ones who don't have your best interests in mind, one thing to always keep in mind is these 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 jobs don't care. They just don't. They can preach the good message. They can say everything that's right to hear, and best believe they're trained to. There's a reason why people are attracted to certain companies. There's a reason why they push for winning awards like best culture and what have you. But at the end of the day, it's still ran by humans, and those humans have their own agendas and have their own emotions and have their own um, um, perspectives and motivations about what they do and how they do things. And I just got a nice refresher of that because I think one of the greatest things about my sobriety and the changes I've made is my decision making, my ability to see through BS has gotten so much higher because I'm not constantly diving into a bottle or I'm not wallowing in depression. I'm at times where I would overthink things, it would be justifiably so, but now it's a lot easier to meditate on things and to reflect on situations and be like, huh, well that was peculiar. And it's odd that these places preach such a gospel as far as um, inclusivity and togetherness and communication and things of that nature. And at the end of the day, it's dog eat dog. There, why would someone stick their neck out for you if it means their job is potentially going to be affected? They have their own bills to pay. They have their own families to take care of. They have their own goals in life. And I'm not saying like they're wrong for doing so. I'm just saying to remember that and what you share and how open you are. At the end of the day, one of the biggest things I'm learning now is these jobs are just that, a job. Keep work and home separate in every way, shape, and form. Because unfortunately, you just never know who is going to take something that you've said and then pass it on to someone else and pass it on to someone else. And then, just like the game of telephone, it ends up mumbled, jumbled, and not anywhere near resembling the truth. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It makes the job even harder than it needs to be because you happen to be open and or vulnerable at a certain point, and you can do everything right for 99% of the time, but best believe that that 1% is what they remember and what they are going to reflect on and judge on. So just don't get tangled up in that. Do yourself a solid. Keep things separate because unfortunately, these people don't care about you. Just like they will get rid of you in a heartbeat, you are just a number in their system. You are a cog in the machine. And unfortunately, unless you're doing it for yourself and actually running your own business, there's no guarantee about the next day and being there and being employed, or even more so, how you are seen, what people's perspective of you is. It's disheartening in the highest degree. So do yourself a solid. Stay away from future heartache and future complications and future stressors, and keep your shit separate. You are there to do your job, and get the hell out of there. Forget trying to make friends with everybody. Forget trying to be the everyday people pleaser, or doing above and beyond your duties, because they don't care. They just don't. And in the rare situations where they do, congratulations. But the majority of these big companies out here, the majority of these conglomerates that we work for, they don't give a damn. They don't. So, do what you're supposed to, work in excellence, like my mom likes to say, and then get back to whatever is driving you towards your future. And with that being said, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the future. I had a nice little moment today. I was on the phone and I was talking on my break when I was getting some coffee. And I was just like, man, can you believe they want us to do this type of stuff forever? Can you believe that that is the goal? Even when things were good, work until you're 50, work until you're 60, and then retire with a pension. That pension's gone. There's no such thing as a pension anymore. There's no guaranteed retirement. But yet, to take care of the bills, to take care of responsibilities in an ever growing world of inflation and in housing prices that are outrageously inconsiderate of what the average pay scale is for the average person, not to mention those who are on minimum wage. It's just not feasible. It's not possible to do this your whole life without compromising yourself, without metaphorically selling your soul. There is more to the world, and we forget it because we get so caught up into this system of work and taking care of the bills, because that is all we have to do in our spare time, is do things to earn money to make sure that we can live a relatively comfortable life, if we're lucky. Because there are plenty of people who are scraping the bottom of the barrel with every single hour they put in. And I mean, they're working their tails off. I mean, they got 2 jobs. They're putting 60 hours, if not more, in a week. And they're still just barely coming and scraping by. If you are in a position where you can make a little bit of money, you can save up, you can build a nest egg, or you can spend money extravagantly in just a small way. You know, a day trip somewhere is big compared to someone who can't do anything when it comes to their groceries outside of what the bare minimum is. You know what I mean? We take that shit for granted. I take it for granted. And I have been going through it because I haven't been focused on anything. I take pride in my schoolwork, and I'm in my doctorate program, and I'm behind, and I don't do that. School's hard for me. It's been hard for me, but it's one of the few things in my life that makes sense, because you study, you read, you learn the formula, you learn about the author, you learn about the subject matter, and then you have a test or an essay or whatever to talk about it. That is one of the more simplified things in my life, is school. It is challenging. I can't focus most of the time. I have issues with taking care of things, but it makes sense to me. It has a format, and that's logical, and to my brain it comes together. So it's one of the few things I could take pride in, and I am behind. I am so far behind, and it's this damn job. It is. It is bad for my mental health. It is taking so much out of me that I don't know how to word it. It is eating me up. And let me say, I am blessed. I am grateful. I have been unemployed thanks to forced layoffs, like many people in this country and around the world. And I know how unfortunate it is to be without a job. I know how bare the job market is. There's tons, thousands upon thousands of listings out there, but best believe, how many of them are getting back to you? How many of them are taking you in the process? How many of them are communicating that they've chosen someone else even? Not many. Not many people are doing that. And it's so disheartening, whether you are unemployed or whether you are at a job and you're looking for your next thing, where you're applying and you're getting no's, or you're not hearing anything back, and then 3-4 months later, you're like, oh, we went with someone else. What? You couldn't just shoot me an email 2 weeks later? You're like, really? Well, anyway, back to what I was saying. These jobs are soulless. There's no sense of fulfillment And the majority is these things. It's literally an ends to a means, and that is paying the bills and being able to move on to the next thing that you have in your goals. And best believe that next thing in your goals is probably paying the bills the next month. Because that's what our lives are. This job is metaphorically killing me in the sense of my ambitions, my drives, my passions. I I am my relationships are even suffering because I just feel so damn drained. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like the symptoms of a depression where you become comatose, you become numb, if you will. So I had to take some time and think because I'm not in a position where I can just leave the job. I'm not in a position where I have something set up where I can focus on that primarily, just like most people. But there has to be a next step. There has to be something that you're planning for. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in this position forever, working for someone else, doing a job that doesn't bring you any fulfillment and just pays the bills. It is a job. It's not a career. It's not a passion. It is a job. And it kills your spirit, man. There's so many people out there who are stuck working in a position that they despise and that they hate, and that is killing their dreams because we got bills to pay. And what I'm here to remind myself of and remind y'all of is take the time to figure out what you want to do outside of work. And in the spare moments that you have, I'm blessed where I don't have a family. I, well, as much as I'd like to have a significant other, I don't have that right now. So I'm speaking from a place of leisure, luxury compared to some people because my time is not as taken up by actual essential responsibilities like raising a family, like taking care of children, like holding a relationship together and being the best version of you after the 40 to 60 to whatever hours a week you're putting into another place that doesn't give a damn about you. I have more free time, and I know that in some people's eyes, why the fuck are you complaining? You don't have, you don't even know what it's like stress wise to deal with other things that are just as essential as taking care of your life because your children should be your life, your loved ones should be your life. That should take just as much priority as yourself. So I say this with knowing that I am not in the upper echelon of stressed or prioritizing time towards things that need it. I know I have more free time than the other person, and I don't always use that well. But what I'm going to say is take the time to find out what you're passionate about. Take the time to reflect about when you were truly happy and what you were doing then. That is one of the things that helped me battle this addiction and depression was I had to go back in time and think back to before all of the crap hit the fan, what made me happy, how was I doing it, and what I could do to do it now. And it unfortunately led to me having to end friendships and relationships with certain family members because they weren't good for my future because I was so caught up in the past. And even more importantly, and I can't say this enough, I was not good for them in certain aspects as well. Toxicity, it does not make for an environment of growth. It pulls and drains and just makes everyone the worst versions of themselves. Like that you're stripping away certain aspects of people, including yourself. So I had to make some very hard decisions and cut certain things out of my life, whether it be certain habits, whether it be certain people, whether it be certain environments, because I knew that if I wanted to get back to being authentically me and also being happy, being a person filled with joy, even more importantly so, because happiness is temporary. Happiness is a fleeting feeling that can go away. Joy resides right here in the heart. Joy is something that when you exude it, you go outside and random strangers can see the glow, can see the light around you. It's something that you can exude, and everyone has it, but it's just so damn hard to find. I believe everyone has it for the most part throughout the innocence of childhood. God forbid they didn't have to go through certain things. Some things I have experienced as well that strip that away. But it's part of the reason why we tell children to enjoy these times, because God knows I miss it. It's there, but as an adult, it's so hard to channel that again. That's why I love people who still have that inner child, that inner light. That's why I'm envious of it almost. I have moments, but I don't. It's not consistent. So I came to realize that yes, if I want to be able to live a life where I can experience that joy, where I can share that with someone else truthfully and honestly and authentically, then I have to be able to find something that is outside of what this current job situation is. Because no matter if it's this job or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, every single job I've had outside of one, which I was actually pretty passionate about, it was with a video game type situation that that's one of my passions, one of the things I enjoy. But every single one of these gigs are just killing you. They're draining you in a way that you get caught up in the cycle and can't see past paying the bills. You lose every interest that you have that brings you joy. Even the fleeting hobbies I used to enjoy, I don't do anymore. The disc golf, gaming, to a degree, like I just do it as a means to escape more so than enjoyment. You know what I mean? It's the fleeting things that used to bring me peace and joy and escape. I don't enjoy anymore because I'm dreading going back to this 9 to 5 and just taking care of what I need to take care of. It is killing my sense of ambition, and it's affecting my life and in a way that I despise. And I pray for clarity in the sense of what I need to do in the future. I thought maybe this could be something. And still I have a hope that maybe it can be where I'm able to share these things and have these discussions with other people like yourselves, because I think the world needs more of that. I think healthiness comes from a realm of understanding that you are not alone in this world. And even if this isn't it, there's something out there that I need to do. I know post sobriety, post clarity, post addiction, post depression, not post, but it's still ongoing, but in a better place. I want to help people. I want to make sure that no one has to go through the things I have gone through. And if I can avoid it or teach them something or share a testimony or give some advice or remind them that they are not alone and they feel that and they can move on and go about their lives with a slightly brighter aspect, then I'm doing my damn job. That's the job I want. That's the thing I'm passionate about. There's so much darkness. There's so much going on. There's so many distractions. Social media, the world's climate change, the political climate, the threat of war, the ongoing Middle East war, like free Palestine, damn it, like the falling apart of our economy right in front of our eyes. These damn tariffs, whatever you want to talk about. There's so much going on in this world at every scale, from the home life to the national, the policies and laws and turmoil that's going on in our country, to worldwide issues. Depending, no matter what scale you look at, there are issues, and we are all struggling. We are all going through it. It doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it doesn't matter what sexual orientation you are, it doesn't matter how you identify yourself, it doesn't matter what your history is. We are all going through hell. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And I'll be damned if I don't share some semblance of light, some glimmer of hope that it does get better. I spent over a decade lost. I used to get mad at that wasted time, but now I understand that it made me better, made me stronger, made me more resilient. It made me realize that there is more to life when I didn't care about living for so long. It, we deserve, each and every one of us deserve to live a life where we can truly do what we care about for the betterment of others. You deserve that. And this world will strip that feeling, that simple sentence away, that mantra that should be residing within your heart with every single beat. It will strip it away and bury it deep because you got bills to pay. Don't don't just get caught up in the system. They're using us. We are cogs in the machine at the most literal sense, is that we are more expendable than most cogs. We we need to make sure we are leveraging that job, that 9 to 5, to the betterment of our futures. Invest in your hobby. Don't forget about your passions. Think back to the past and when you were happy and what you were doing then, and try to strive to find that again, whether it's the same as that thing or whether it had to evolve into something else. We all have inner childs that do not need to be neglected. If we want to find that joy, if we want to find that light, then best believe it's going to take some hard work. And I'd be damned if that hard work isn't all given to a 9 to 5 and a paycheck. Find it. Dig deep. It's in there. It's in there. Forgive me, just thinking. Man, I appreciate y'all. I really do. It's good to be able to express these things. That's what this is. It's like a journal. Except I don't want to write things down. I'm not disciplined enough. I have like 3 journals. And I'm like, well, this one I can fill out the questions and I don't have to think about it. This one I can just write in willy nilly or doodle. This one is inspirational and stoic, or this one is founded in my religion and in my faith. And each and every one of them are set aside, not being utilized. I'm happy I have this outlet. I'm happy I can share these thoughts and these opinions and these messages to the outside world for the betterment of my mental health, and most importantly and hopefully to the betterment of yours. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being human. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for struggling each and every day to just find a reason to hold on, because I know that feeling all too well. It still creeps in there. I'm in the best spot I've ever been. I've made some of the best decisions of my life over these past few years. From quitting drinking to finding God again, to reconnecting with my loved ones and my family and my sibling, to distancing myself from things that are toxic to me and things that are just too great of a temptation to go back to. Because as much as I love certain things and certain people in my life, I know that if I want to live the life I want to, I can't go back. I don't trust myself enough not to fall back into old habits. I'm speaking of habits. I'm sick of the habit of these jobs. It is killing every sense of ambition I have. Even the things I take pride in, I am failing in. I've had certain days where I was crippled. It was just as bad as any episode I've ever had when it comes to me being bipolar. And more important, it could have been an episode. It could have been the trigger for one. I don't know. That those days were hard. It was hard to move. It was hard to go to the bathroom. It was hard to drink water. It was hard to eat. The essentials of life were challenging to do because of just how mind and body crippling it was. So, as far as the message goes, don't let these jobs define you. You're bigger than this. You're bigger than your paycheck. And while we all need these jobs to make sure we take care of the bills and to live a better life, a slightly more carefree life than if we were stressing over just trying to find food and put it on the table, there we can't give up on our passions. We can't give up on the things that will make us more whole. This is what I want to do. I want to help those who need help. I want to make sure that those before me and after me who are going through situations that I have gone through can end the cycle a little bit quicker. Don't give up. These jobs don't care about us. So use them like they use us towards advancing yourself towards the future that you want. You are worthy of love. You are not alone. Your inner child is a light that is not dead. It could be dim, but it's not dead. It is a flame to kindle and to grow. And as long as you don't give up, it is still there. Anyway, I've got work to do. Go figure. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this time with me. If you resonate or relate to anything I just said, tell me about it. I'd love to hear. I'd love to converse and share anything I can to help, whether it just be support, whether it be sitting there quietly and just listening to you vent. We all need that support. Love y'all with all my heart. I wish you nothing but the best, and I'll see you next time. Bye.